Revelation 8 and verse 1, Jesus opens the seventh seal, revealing the future. The scroll. There is a scroll in heaven, and Jesus takes it and he's opening it, and the scroll is going to tell the church what is going to come at the end of time. And whenever Jesus, opened the seventh seal, silence fell in heaven for about an hour. So suspense is building. Everybody's quiet because people want to know what is going to happen in the future. Verse 2, then I saw the seven angels who stand before God. Now, to stand before somebody is a sign of serving that person. You go into a restaurant, you sit down at a table, a waiter comes and stands before you. What is the waiter doing? He's going to take your order. He's going to turn your order into the chef. Then he's going to bring your food and set the food before you. And then a couple times a waiter will come back and ask, is everything okay? Can I get you anything? And then toward the end, they'll bring your check to you. So a waitress stands before the customer to wait on, to serve the customer. So these seven angels stand before God. They are serving him. And seven trumpets were given to them. Now, what's a trumpet for? To get people's attention. God is about to speak. Everybody is all ears. Everybody wants to hear Jesus inform them what's going to happen in the future. Verse 3. And another angel came and stood at the altar holding a golden censer. Now, the censer was a pan that you put incense on to put it on the altar of incense to burn it. Second line of verse 3. And much incense was given to him. Much incense was given to the angel. And what was that incense? What was that incense given? The intercession of Jesus. And notice what is going to, look at the third line. What's going to be done with that incense that was given to him? To add to the prayers of all the saints. Now, what is this saying? When you pray, added to your prayer is the intercession of Jesus that will accompany your prayer and make dead sure your words penetrate the ear of God. It's not so much our merit that earns God's ear. It is Christ interceding for us, praying with us. So to add to the prayers of, notice, not some of the saints, not most of the saints, all of the saints, upon the golden altar. The golden altar is the altar of incense, which is before the throne. It is directly before God himself. Verse 4. And so arose the smoke of the incense, consisting in the prayers of the saints. Our prayers come up to God. He hears them. He is very aware. And so arose the smoke of the incense, consisting in the prayers of the saints, out of the angel's hands before the presence of God. Again, God hears and receives our prayers. Now, verse 5 concerns some of the results of the saints' prayers. Next, the angel took now, I misspelled the word, it should be censer, the pan with the incense in it, and filled it with fire from the altar and hurled it to earth. Now, that fire is a symbol of judgment. God is going to bring judgment on the sinful world. So that, now here's the outcome, so that thunder and rumblings and lightnings and an earthquake occurred. Now, some of that, fire, judgment, earthquakes, are due to the prayers of God's people. They're being persecuted. They're being martyred. They're crying out to God for justice. Just like when somebody wrongs you, you're hurt. You want justice to be done for you, and you cry out to God for justice. All right, now I want you to look on the back at some applications here. Number one, Jesus' intercession is added like incense to our prayers. It is Christ's addition of his merit, authority, and power that makes our prayers heard by God and effective. Now, incense. Why is incense likened as a symbol to our prayers? What does incense smell like when it's burned?
Sweet smell.
What is it?
A good sweet smelling fragrance.
Say that again.
A good sweet smelling fragrance.
Oh, that's right. It's just delightful. We all enjoy a fragrant aroma. Anybody in here like bad smells? Like maybe the carcass of a dead animal? Oh, it's just, it stinks. But everybody enjoys a fragrant, delightful scent and aroma. And so what Scripture is saying is, as we delight in a fragrant aroma, so God delights in your prayers. They are sweet, pleasing, delightful to the soul of God. Number two, there is not one Christian, however sinful and lowly, whose prayer is not heard by the Father because of his Son's intercession is added to that prayer. Thirdly, as incense is a pleasing fragrance that people enjoy, so God delights in our prayers, praises, petitions, confessions, and intercessions for others. 4, prayer is not the lonely activity that it often seems to be. We can pray with other saints. There is a bonding effect in a concert of prayer and much power when believers pray together. 5, as a Christian prays alone, he or she is attended in some mysterious and unexplained manner by angels who assist us in bringing our prayers to the throne of grace. 6, as a believer prays alone, he or she is joined by Jesus, who adds his intercession, righteousness, authority, and power to that sole person's prayer. 7, in prayer, we are not to be selfish and pray only for ourselves. We are to bring needy people to God's attention, praying for them. And we are to pray about important issues like our country, our leaders, wars, crime, COVID, the spread of the gospel, etc. 8, our prayers are faithfully heard with interest by the Creator of the universe, whose strong arm moves earth's peoples and events, and our prayers can move that omnipotent, almighty arm. 9, the fervent prayer of a righteous person can accomplish much. 10, believers ought always to pray and not give up. So, I just like this passage. Knowing that your prayer as an individual, our prayers as a group, are welcomed by God. He delights in them. Jesus adds his own petitions to our prayers that assure us that God hears with intense interest your prayers as an individual, our prayers as a church.